بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وصلى الله على النبي الأمي برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. Alhamdulillah, we continue with this discussion between Almuzzammil and Almuddathir. We just discussed Almuzzammil, and towards the end we were discussing this verse about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala making a concession regarding tahajjud, because there are those who are not well, there are those traveling, doing trade, earning halal, and there are those striving in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Scholars deduce here, in this there's indication that earning halal is a very meritorious deed where one gets great rewards. And ahadith are quoted in regards to this. Daylami reports the statement of Jabir radiallahu anhu, Ni'mal aun ala taqwallah al-mal. What I want us to understand is, look at the purity and the moderation in our deen. Yes, the initial verses are about the importance of dawat and striving for Allah and inviting to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But here, that does not mean that we have to leave everything and only do dawat. But we have to earn halal, and we have to work towards our dunya with the correct intention, following the correct avenues, and following the sharia. In this hadith, Jabir radiallahu anhu states what a support it is to acquire taqwa. What's the support? To have wealth and to acquire halal. In one hadith, Allah's Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said to Sa'ad bin Abi Waqqas radiallahu anhu, when he asked permission, O Nabi of Allah, that I want to give everything in the path of Allah. He was on his deathbed. Allah's Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, Innaka, if you leave your heirs well-to-do, that's better than leaving them as paupers and beggars. So this is also one aspect of Sharia. In one hadith, obviously Allah Ta'ala give us tawfiq to give our children deen first. That's more important. But also we should give them a know-how, not make them burdens on others and burdens on society and those who don't know how to earn. In one report, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was with Hazrat Abu Bakr and Umar radiallahu anhum. And this is in Majma' al-Zawaid. And there was this youngster, very strong, jalad, quwwa. He was brave and he had a lot of capability. So one Sahabi said how wonderful it would be that he would use all his strength in the path of Allah. So Allah's Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said that when he earns and works hard and earns halal and spends on his family and takes care of his parents and not asks from people and spends on others, that is also fi sabilillah. Or kama qala an-Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So we learn how pure and moderate and perfect is our deen. That's why there's a beautiful poem by this Sahabi, An-Namr bin Tawlab radiallahu anhu. An-Namr bin Tawlab al-Aqli radiallahu anhu. He encourages people to earn. He says in beautiful rendition, he says, خاطر بنفسك كي تصيب رغيبة إن القعود من النساء قبيح فالمال فيه عزة ومهابة والفقر فيه مذلة وفضوح. He says, take a chance and earn. Take a chance in this way, that buy the goods and then sell it, so that you acquire halal wealth. Because sitting at home and doing nothing with the woman is a despicable trait. If you were to earn, you get honor thereby. But poverty, doing nothing, sitting at home doing nothing, and like that remaining poor, that is disgraceful, and that is something that would expose one. Fuduhu. So Allama Qurtubi rahimahullah brings an interesting report where the hadith states that a person who imports goods and he goes from town to sell, or he sells his goods, making goods available to people, and in a good, amicable manner, he buys and he sells, Allah gives him a great reward by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Another beautiful statement is that of Sufyan al-Thawri rahimahullah. He says, if it wasn't for wealth, then some of these rulers would use us as handkerchiefs. Hazrat Ali radiallahu anhu says, لَحَمْلِ الصَّخْرَ مِنْ قِمَمِ الْجِبَالِ, I rather climb the mountain and labor and toil. أَحَبُّ إِلَيَّ مِنْ مِنَنِ الرِّجَالِ, that's better than taking handouts from people. يَقُولُ النَّاسُ لِي فِي الْكَسْبِ عَارُ, people say, it's a disgrace to toil and to labor and to work. He says, I tell them, الْعَارُ فِي ذِلِّ السُّؤَالِ, to ask man, to ask makhluk, that's the biggest disgrace. My point here was to show the beauty and the moderation in our deen. That yes, dawat in the beginning, but very important is to earn correctly and spend in the correct avenues. Allah give us tawfiq. The chapter we are about to start is Almuddathir. In the sequence of Quran Kareem, this is chapter number 74. And in the sequence of Revelation, this is chapter 4. As we're discussing the correlation, the links, these two chapters were revealed together, one and then the other. In the previous chapter, mention was made about tahajjud and purifying the soul. In this chapter, what is indicated to what is mentioned is the effort to perfect and improve others as well. So both go hand in hand. Another link is both discuss the importance of imparting deen and giving dawat. Another link between the two chapters, in the previous chapter, the night of Rasulullah ﷺ is highlighted. In this chapter, Allah's Nabi's efforts in the day is highlighted, even though in the previous that is also mentioned. Something else interesting, in both chapters, Qiyamah is mentioned.